Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited for today's hair tutorial because I'm going to be showing you how I do a partial foil on my client Natalie today. She's actually one of my best friends as well, so I'm super excited to have her in my chair. She's naturally a level 7, so I'm actually not going to have to use anything over a 10 or 15 volume. I'm going to use my Schwarzkopf IGORA VARIO Blonde Plus lightener per usual. That's what I love to use on every single one of my blondes. And then of course adding some Olaplex #1 inside of my lightener to protect her hair while we are lightening it. Now for foils today, I'm using my favorite brand, which is these Style Tech ones, and these are the 5x11 pre-cut pop-up foils in the shade Pretty in Pink. I will leave them linked down below if you're interested in grabbing you guys some boxes. I highly recommend. They have all different colors, but right here, I'm just showing you how I'm sectioning her hair. I'm just doing 3 sections, so 2 on the sides and then 1 big mohawk section. One of the biggest tips I can give you when doing a partial foil is to make sure that you're going down far enough in the back of the client's head. I feel like this area gets missed a lot or just overlooked and rushed through, and this actually ends up being one of the most important parts because a lot of people are actually standing behind your client, whether it's in line at the grocery store or just in line in general, or just, I mean, people see the back of people's heads all day long, and I feel like I can always tell when a hairstylist hasn't gone down far enough in the back of a client's hair because it's so dark back there and it's so blonde in the front. So as you guys can see, I am starting in the back of the head and just going up the entire mohawk section. Now the reason I like to do that is just because I feel like I can take as much hair as possible in the mohawk and that'll set me up to do a lot less work later on. I feel like when I've started on the sides of the hair, I really take the smallest section and I just create more work for me in the end. Whereas right here, I can get majority of the hair, at least the most important part, which is the top or where the part is, if that makes sense. So if I get as much hair as possible into this mohawk section, I don't have to do as much in the other 2 sections. I hope that makes sense to you guys. So for today's foil pattern, we are doing a really heavy Babylight. Now the reason we're doing really heavy Babylight is because she likes to be that really icy platinum all over white blonde. Now the reason we don't do an on scalp retouch is because of maintenance. I know that she's not going to want to come in every 4 to 6 weeks. She's more of like an 8 to 10 week type of client. So I'm okay with that, and I don't mind doing Babylights stacked on top of each other. I know a lot of clients prefer this anyways, and so I'm pretty much used to doing really heavy foils. So as you guys can see, I am leaving minimal hair in between. Honestly, I prefer the way that Babylights grow out anyways, as opposed to all over on scalp bleach. So that is just my preferred method for her. I know that some people think it's kind of silly to spend all that time baby lighting if you're going to do it that heavy, but you guys will see at the end, I'll show you a really up close look at her root, and it blends in so seamlessly with her natural color, and the dimension is just so beautiful. So that is the foil pattern that I'm using today. So now that I've finished with 3/4 of the mohawk section, I'm moving on to the sides, and as you guys can see, I'm taking little tiny baby lights around her hairline. I really like to focus around the hairline just because it matters the most, because that's when your clients are going to pull their hair back and notice any imperfections or any lines or bleeding. So really take your time with this, and you guys can see that I'm stacking like 2 to 3 foils right on her hairline to give her the most amount of brightness. So on this section right here, I feel like it's very much so a hairstylist preference thing. Some hairstylists for partial foils, they only do 3 foils on the hairline and then the mohawk, and that's a partial foil to them. I personally like to do a couple of horizontal foils going all the way up to the mohawk section, and the reason I like to do that is because I feel like when you rinse your client out and you've got that perfect section where the part is and everything, and then all of a sudden you see like a dark chunk just kind of like peeking through a little bit, that's because that little section that you left out just becomes so obvious and so dark in contrast with that fresh part that's laying right on top of it. So I feel like just doing a couple of horizontal foils, I mean, you don't have to do a ton. As you guys saw, I only did 4, but it makes the biggest difference when the client puts their hair down and they just section it perfectly and it's just like bright. And I don't know. I love it. It makes the biggest difference in my opinion. Totally just a personal preference, but that's just the way that I do it. So wanted to show you guys that, but now we're moving on to the other side and just repeating these exact same steps. So now we've gotten to one of my personal favorite areas to foil, which is the very front hairline. As you guys can see, her hair goes into a little bit of a point. It's not exactly a widow's peak, but it's just a little bit of a point. So I'm going to do 2 foils on the left side and 2 foils on the right side, back to back with just like a little bit of hair in between, like probably like 2 hairs in between, just to give that really high impact blonde right up near her face. So typically what I like to do is ask the client what side they part on, because that's definitely the side that you're going to put the most foils on, and you're just going to pay the most attention to. So this is the side that she parts on, which is why I'm using this as kind of the dominant side where I'm starting to foil everything back. And then you guys will see towards the end that I just kind of foiled whatever was left over. So I'm showing you guys the part right there, and I'll just kind of go off that part and start foiling back. And whatever's left out that doesn't fit in those foils, I'll start to foil diagonally the other way, just like we did on the part on the left side. So you guys can see what I'm talking about in this little clip. On the part where the rest of the hair was left out in the mohawk section, I just foiled overlapping the other side. So excited to show you guys today's toner specifically because I've never used these on my channel before, but I have been experimenting with them a little bit more in the salon, and these are the Schwarzkopf Vibrance toners, and the ones that I'm using is 9519, 9521, and 951, all equal parts. I believe I did an ounce of each one, and then I did 3 ounces of the Vibrance Activator Gel in 6 volumes, so a 1-to-1 ratio. I absolutely have been loving these. They are so moisturizing on the hair, and this specific combo is the perfect white blonde. It's so bright. You guys will see when I take her outside to show you the after of this. It is like the whitest, brightest hair ever. And I love the way that these tone. So I've been experimenting with them a lot more, and Schwarzkopf actually did send me some a couple months ago. So I've been playing with them, but I did go out and buy these myself for Natalie because I thought they were perfect for today, and I know that not a lot of hairstylists on here use them a ton, at least not on YouTube, but I know obviously Instagram is full of them. So I wanted to show you firsthand how I use them, but I am first going to shampoo her using the Malibu Undo Goo clarifying shampoo because she does have a lot of buildup from purple shampoo. I wanted to give like a nice blank canvas to start with and just tone with. And then I'm going to use the Olaplex number 2 prior to toning just to even out the porosity. And to style her hair, I'm using the Lanza Moi Moi Moisture Mist. This is a new product that I absolutely love. You guys can see how easy her hair detangled and how quick it detangled. It is amazing. If you guys have a chance to go by Salon Centric and buy the kit, the moisture kit from the Lanza, like holiday kits, they are so amazing. Highly recommend. So I am going to show you guys just the finished result now that her hair is blow dried and straight. Look how bright and blended and just icy her hair is. I cannot wait to take you guys outside and show you how this turned out. It is stunning. I also wanted to give you guys a little close-up of what the root looks like and how blended in the Babylights are with her natural color. That dimension is just so beautiful on her, and I love the way this technique turned out, and you guys can see just how bright her hairline is. There's no bleed marks, there's no harsh lines, and then I'm just going to curl her using the Babyless, I don't know how you say that. I'm using the 1-inch curling iron just with the clamp. This is my favorite way to curl any of my clients' hair and my own personal hair as well. All right, you guys, so this is the finished result with outdoor natural lighting. I am so obsessed with these toners. They are just so beautiful. They give the most gorgeous shine to the hair and they are so moisturizing. I love this little cocktail that I did today using these Schwarzkopf Vibrance toners. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed this partial foil technique. Let me know what you guys think down below and let me know what else you guys want to see. And hopefully I'll see you guys in my next tutorial. Bye.